As of recording this video, they did decide to walk back that decision where they were forcing you to link your PSN account, even though you didn't own a PlayStation, which is a massive W for the community. So if things continue to go in a positive direction, I might think of potentially getting into this game. Because, well, I've heard a lot of great things about it, but let's see what Bricky thinks. But of course, as always, link to the OG video is at the top of the description. Please go over and support Bricky for all the amazing content that he does. And without further ado, let's see what this is.
Democracy, freedom, justice, and our way of life. These things are under attack, and the only way we can stop it is to get swole. And I have just the thing.
Oh my god, Bricky.
Oh god damn it. Introducing Bricky's
great.
Muscle Girl
Great joke.
Jug.
Gotta love your muscle girls.
That's right, the original GamerSupps Bricky Cup sold so well, did so great that there was nothing better to do than to put it on an even larger
It's actually
jug.
called that?
24-ounce cup is great, 32-ounce muscle jug is better, and it is available for 2 weeks only. That's right, if you want to put down your pre-order for the Bricky Muscle Girl Jug, it is available for 2 weeks starting right when this video comes out. So you can make sure that you absolutely get your spots without any fear of someone snagging your place. It is a wonderful 32-ounce jug with the beautiful pink top matching the delicious sweet 6-pack flavor I currently have inside. What do you think she's listening to? Rock? Heavy metal? No, I know exactly what she's listening to.
I see. Soundtrack from the game. I haven't heard the soundtrack from the game yet. I think it's probably okay.
Put in your order for the Bricky Jug now. Link in the description at gamersupps.com/Bricky, and don't forget to use code Bricky for 10% off.
For myself
and
to figure
while
it out.
you're at it, snag the sweet 6-pack flavor available in both caffeinated and non-caffeinated. Democracy needs you, and democracy needs you big.
How could humanity not be the good guys? We're humans. Are you saying you're some fucking bug sympathizer?
What is the most frightening string of words you can imagine? I'm breaking up with you. Your father and I are getting a divorce. The DNA test came back. It turns out you're not him. I reject these sayings. I reject these statements. Truly, the most terrifying string of words imaginable is orbital 380mm HE barrage incoming on your position.
What?
You put another 3. No wonder you're so far away.
I gotta make sure me okay.
Oh my god.
You know what? I'm taking this machine gun.
Oh yeah, there is friendly fire, yeah.
You couldn't kill me, idiot! Which orbitals? No! Run, Becky, run! He did it again! Garrett, you've killed us all. You've killed us all, Garrett. I'm leaving.
When your teammates are your worst enemy.
All of us, and all he did was kill himself. Which orbital is that? 380s, 380. Run this, run, Becky, run this direction.
Oh, there's mines over here.
Oh no! The timing! What the hell?
Ow! The mines killed. What'd you do? Garrett!
Oh my god.
I hate you, Garrett.
Welcome to the Helldivers Recruit. Today is a glorious day to spread democracy and liberty for the greatest race of all, humanity. Hailing from the greatest planet of all, Super Earth. Many of you will die and die and die, but you will be doing so in the name of democracy. Helldivers 2 released rather recently and has already blown up to a proportion that I don't think any of us were expecting, and the devs certainly didn't either. Helldivers 1 was a top-down shooter game released all the way back in 2015 to positive reviews, yet not overwhelming financial.
I hadn't heard of the game until Helldivers 2 got released and then the trailers dropped. The decision to make it a third-person shooter though was Very, very good one.
Success. Instead of continuing with their top-down shooter genre, they moved to the third-person perspective, and lo and behold, 9 years later, they release Helldivers 2 on PC and PS5 for the retail price of $40. However, the game, from what I've been told, is a shockingly similar recreation of the original title. Truly, the only major difference is the perspective and a certain level of combat, weapons, enemies,
okay,
and
that's
so
cool.
on. But from
Staying
the
true
most
to
part,
its origins.
all the weapons and enemies you currently have, even the stratagem button combinations, are the same from the original game. Now, this is a 4-player co-op shooter, though I should really make sure to put emphasis on the shooter part of that as opposed to the cooperative part.
I'm going past the point.
I had so many samples on me. You better.
It depends on the people you play with.
What did I do?
I could tell who that was. So I chose.
What did I do?
And you serve a true democratic state, a fascist, authoritarian, democratic state. But unfortunately, there are 2 factions that have opposed Super Earth's rule. The Tyranids.
Oh, no. Not the Tyranids. They're something else. But they are basically the same.
The Terminids, who you originally kept at a cold population because their corpses make a lovely oil to help serve the democratic states. And we would never let them out and purposely send them onto other planets so that we could have a reason to farm more oil.
Never.
That's some
we never would do that.
Discussion you're gonna tell your democracy officer. And the automatons, socialist robots who hate liberty, who hate democracy, and who hate our way of life. Robots who try and convert our citizens and tell them that our government is evil and not actually democratic.
Why are the automatons killing the civilians? I thought they were socialist.
Political commentary.
Heretical, each and every one of them. And you, Helldiver, originally a position putting down human insurrection, have been tasked with dealing with these new problems. It should be made abundantly clear that the satirical nature of this game steals from every other major form of media, but with a particular emphasis on Starship Troopers and Warhammer 40,000. Now, naturally,
yeah, Ricky, we know. You're kind of the dire reason why I'm here. But I think, if I remember correctly, the head developer for the game was like, the only reason I put in microtransactions into the game if I was like funding my plastic crack addiction. And pretty sure he's a pretty big Warhammer fan as well.
I'm extremely 40k pilled, and my initial thought is to always say something steals from Warhammer, but I want to be clear, this is a very Warhammer pilled game, and it is intentional, because let's be honest, anyone who plays a lot of 40k knows that in a setting like this, we are very guilty of lovingly shouting out war cries for a faction I know is absolutely abhorrent. Unrelated statement, Ave Dominus Nox, shitlord. There's a good chance that you've seen Helldivers take the internet by storm, and I feel like I'm going to be here all day explaining all of those reasons why. But truly, this type of game is something that I have a lot of experience with, the 4-player co-op shooter. It's one of my, if not my favorite genre of video game, and even I'm shocked I haven't made my video on Deep Rock Galactic yet. However, there is
Deep Rock Galactic is another game that you guys have been talking about, especially in the Discord as well. They wanted to like get me into that. I have no idea what that is. I think it's like 4 dwarves or whatever mining in space. Haven't played it and haven't really seen any gameplay of it.
Different aspect of this game that I think is a bit overlooked, and interestingly, it's a repeat of the internet's most recent video game darling as well, Lethal Company. Now, there are a lot of things Helldivers gets very right. The gunplay is satisfying, the enemies are diverse, the environments are quite beautiful, and individual things like voice acting and music are, at minimum, pretty good, and at maximum, outstanding.
Cool. I think it's very important in really any of these kind of games to get the gunplay right. If it doesn't feel good to play, then nobody's gonna play it. This entry music is also really epic.
But much like Lethal Company, I think one of the real reasons this game has just sold so well is its smooth gradient between jokes with friends and genuine butt-clenching terror. When you played Lethal Company, things were all goofy and silly as you ran past each other, laughed, fell down pits and the like, but the moment your friends were picked off and it was you alone in the complex, it went from comedy to horror almost instantly. Then, once that round was over, comedy returned after a cooldown period, rinse and repeat.
I think this is a cycle that really all horror games kind of follow. There has to be that one safe room in your horror game where your player can get to relax and unwind, because like having your player be in constant stress the entire time is a really good ingredient to make them stop playing. There has to be a moment of reprieve. And that's also usually why game OSTs from horror games are some of the most relaxing tracks out there. I highly recommend you guys check out a few of them if you want something to just chill to. And I mean, you know, the safe room OSTs, not the OSTs where you're getting chased by a horrible man-eating monster.
In Helldivers, when you land on the planet, you have a huge amount of reinforcements. You're all setting up, joking around, and I'd be unsurprised if the largest amount of friendly fire occurred within the first 5 minutes of a match.
Where? I don't want to fucking hear it. Ow.
But then, as your reinforcements dwindle and your stratagems are on cooldown and your teammates are screaming their injuries at the top of their lungs while you are being assailed by the binary in the trees, it turns into Halo Reach, current objective, survive. And it creates incredible moments like—
I'm sorry, guys. I haven't played any of the Halo. Actually, I did play the first Halo. I did get soft locked though because of one of the autosaves, but I didn't grow up with that series, so a lot of the references to that I don't really get. I'm also assuming from context here that reinforcements mean that you have a limited number of lives. So when you die, you lose well, you basically kind of deploy a new Helldiver, which is just going to be another life for you.
Like these.
Serpentine movements, Briggy, serpentine movements.
Oh my god, what is that?
Oh, it's on me! Guys, I'm trapped in the tank! I'm trapped in the tank! I'm trapped in the tank!
Look, if you're lucky, they can't shoot you down there.
You're correct, they can't!
Oh my god! Oh, they can blow up the tank though.
Oh, yes!
He's out!
Let's go, boys!
There's so much chaos here. Oh my goodness. Oh god, you got— oh no! Wait, you somehow made it on? What the hell?
And that's like really—
oh dude, I saw in chat there somebody was like, I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank. I think that's a reference to a story about the orcs in Warhammer 40k, right? Where they were like trying to psych themselves up and think that they were invincible by saying that.
The thing I want you to leave with when this video is over, it's that the seamless blend between these two things I think is an underrated feature of a lot of very popular games right now. And one of the main reasons these two games have been popping off so much. We're just trading horror for intense final stands. Though, depending on the enemy, it can still certainly be horror.
Oh yeah, for sure. A game that I recently played with my friends was Left 4 Dead 2. It also kind of gets this formula, and it's something that probably separates a lot of these like 4-person co-op shooters from the other games that just aren't as great. You have to have your moments of reprieve mixed with the moments where the horde comes in to attack you, and then it all becomes so chaotic, but not too chaotic that it becomes impossible to like clear. Getting that balance is difficult.
Never mind, there was no Egg is being murdered. Egg is fucking— that caught me off guard.
So, how do you jump into hell? Well, you complete basic training and you earn your cape. Then you get to board your ship and prepare your tools of destruction. First, your second skin. Armor, for the time of writing this video, has been bugged. So the rating, which I assume means defense, does not matter whether you wear light, medium, or heavy armor. The only thing that does matter is the current stats abilities that you get from it. And I have chosen the deluxe edition armor because it has 50% chance that lethal damage will not kill you. That might seem extremely overpowered, but you're gonna get hit by so many individual attacks that it will probably kill you regardless. This is to stave off teammates from blowing a 380mm size hole in your face.
Oh, Ricky, you're gonna die.
Why you say that? Oh, because of the—
oh.
Oh my god.
Past that, I use all kinds of armor. Extra stims that we can use. We've got a great one that reduces explosion damage by 50%. Fantastic against the bots and your teammates. Then there's light armor, because moving fast is great. But let's be honest right now. It's for the drip, and I don't wear heavy armor because it's better. I wear this thick boy because I need the bugs to know who is girthier. Next, you need to pick out your liberation tools and democratic firearms. You start off with a very small arsenal, but as you can see, it will rack up quite quickly. Overall, every single primary does its job to a certain extent. The assault rifle is really good at putting down the bug hordes with clean, consistent firepower. The SMG is, of course, shorter range, but I would generally imagine having higher DPS, and the marksman.
Having a good variety of weapons with a good reason to use each and every one of them is very important, and a lot of games get this incorrectly. One game that immediately comes to my mind is Starfield. From what I've heard from Starfield, there's just like a good weapon, and then everything else that's just kind of meh, which you really don't want. You kind of want to encourage several different play styles that are worthwhile to use. And I mean, bonus points if you get to unlock different kinds of weapons as you play the game. I'm assuming that's kind of the progression that we got here in Helldivers.
Rifle is just a solid gun for those who want to put down accurate shots. The problem with all these weapons, though, is that they are not the Breaker fully automatic shotgun. Introducing the Breaker fully automatic shotgun for when you want to obliterate an enemy's soul as well as their body. Buy now! Once you have liberated your tools from the socialist weapon racks, you will then pick yourself a mission. There are 9 total difficulties in Helldivers, ranging from is basically a tutorial to what Suicide Squad felt like to play. There will be a couple of individual missions increasing in size the harder the difficulties go, but once you have chosen your excursion, picked a drop point for you and your team, you may enter your Hell Pods. Now you may finalize your loadout and pick your stratagems, but these aren't the stratagems you know of. Put that CP reroll down. I don't want to hear anything about Armor of Contempt. These are pocket DDR weapons that range from offensive orbital strikes, backpack mounted personal shields, sentry guns, heavy weapons, and most importantly, minefields.
Oh, I absolutely just threw an entire minefield right next to the civilian extractor.
No.
Why would you do that? No. Well,
The civilian.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, the civilian died for democracy, so is it really a death?
These are your special abilities you get to call in-game, and they will be the source of the most power and frustration simultaneously. Because once you drop, you'll learn extremely quickly that friendly fire is on. And in this democracy, we do not discriminate. It doesn't matter if it's your orbital bomb,
You fucking asshole.
your gun,
Oh shit, I need to aim better.
Yeah, that's the
you
problem.
gotta aim like this.
your Tesla tower.
Oh my god.
HMG coming down.
You're not that way.
Yep, I realized that.
Or even your personal drone. Every type of damage from every single source can kill you, and it is going to a lot. From there,
I wonder if there's any stats tracking this. Like how many people have died from the enemies and how many people have died from friendly fire. I'd love to know.
on, you're up to continue your mission. Doesn't matter what that mission is. Launching an ICBM, evacuating civilians, destroying enemy bases, whatever your job is, you are going to do it. But you only have so many reinforcements, and each death across the team is shared with that reinforcement meter. So giggling and laughing as much as you want in the beginning is fine, but when that 20 loses its cute little 0 at the end of it, things are gonna have to get a bit more serious. In between this, you can go on all kinds of other side objective excursions, whether it's the more official ones located with the big blue icon on the map, or any of the red danger zones that indicate enemy bases. Everything can be killed for extra experience, requisitions, and most importantly, samples. Collecting.
So there is a little bit of exploration here and there. And I guess it really depends on what you agree with your team and like how much you want to farm this. Although I'm assuming that obviously the more you go out and the more you die, and less resources you'll have to actually complete the main mission.
Samples is a major part of progression in Helldivers, and they are located all across the map. But the moment you die, you drop them. So I would highly recommend that you don't give everyone all the samples.
I was in fact safe behind the rock.
Oh no! Oh my god, Ricky.
The samples are down there now.
Looking for them is easy too. They're randomly in bases with that big circle kind of symbol there. Sometimes they're common, sometimes they're rare. And if you want the super rare ones, look for the Dick Rock. That's right, the Dick Rock. Higher level maps have one, and around there are the big fancy special samples. These are important. Find the Dick Rock.
It's almost more like a lollipop rock.
I think I have a stroke.
What are you trying to say?
Well, it's like a little top heavy, wouldn't you say?
Once your objective is complete, you evacuate and enjoy yourself a hot cup of liberty. Then, with your new levels, you get to purchase exciting new equipment. The main source of progression through the game is this quasi battle pass system that goes through various panels to unlock new armor, weapons, and other aesthetic benefits. However, your requisitions will go into the thing that's probably the most important, which is new stratagems. There is a freedom load amount of stratagems out there, and as you level up and unlock new ones, you will be far better equipped for the higher levels and enemies you fight later on. For the most part, the earlier difficulties have basic infantry, couple of medium class enemies, but the higher you go, the bigger and tankier they are. Sometimes tankier, literally. So you're going to need some specific things for your fights. What's interesting is that Arrowhead Studios does not make the enemies have higher health or damage as you level up. You just get more of them and of a higher caliber. Luck. So, what do you take with it? The heavy machine gun is a lovely thing you can have initially, but perhaps you should be eyeing that autocannon you can get at level 10. And trust me, you're gonna want the autocannon.
Hello? Hello? Who is this? Ultimate power.
Okay, let's see how this performs.
Oh my god.
It's very strong.
Got one tank. Well, it is very nice to
I mean, the stronger the enemies, the better the weapons they have to give you, right?
have a large AoE orbital barrage to take down groups of enemies. You might be dealing with, say, an automaton producing factory. Wouldn't it be great when you're out of grenades and can't get close to instead use a precision orbital strike to take one out and not have to go through the process of throwing a grenade into a hole when 5 double chainsaw wielding communists are running you down? Perhaps you're doing a defense and you need to thin the ranks of anything before they even get to you. Well, enjoy the mortar sentry and enjoy the excessive amount of team killing you're going to do with that piece of shit. And for the simple-minded individual, the one that just wants to see thing go boom, might I recommend a lovely serving of upright down, 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 I'm not going to sugarcoat it, 500 kilogram bomb. There really are a ton of various setups that you can do.
That's cool.
Not just depending on the map, enemy, and mission type, but also how you want to build with your team. If you
Yeah, exactly. It's another fun part is the fact that everybody can bring their own loadout, so the strategy and communication with your bros is very important here.
Are, for example, doing a blitzed civilian evacuation where you need to hold a single point and have enemies swarm you over and over again, then having a large amount of defensive structures like minefield, mortar, sentry guns, and HMG emplacements is fantastic. If your goal is to kill 2 enormous bile titans, then heavy weapons such as the spear or perhaps the orbital railgun stratagems are super helpful there. Your build does not end with you. It ends with your teammates and your enemy type as well. And there's a reason why so much of it is both useful and fun to unlock. Can you tell I enjoy this game? I know most of you who are familiar with my general media taste were expecting me to play this game, and I mean, you're right. Helldivers 2 fucking bangs. This game is such a wealth of concepts and content that even now, over 20 hours into the game, probably over 30 hours now, once this video is actually up, there is still democracy I can unlock. There is still liberty that I can bring to bear. For the right to bear arms is not just a human right, it's a human demand. In fact, that demand is extremely present when it comes down to the enemies you're fighting. At the time of writing, there are 2 factions in the game, the automatons and the bugs.
I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all! Yeah! Okay.
Did they add in the 3rd types of enemies? I learned from a lore video I did a while back that there is something missing. I forget their exact name, but they're a lot more, I guess, modernistic, sleek looking. I haven't seen anything about it on Twitter, so probably not yet.
There is a 3rd faction on the way, known as the Illuminates or something. They're an alien.
Yeah, there you go. I should probably just let Bricky talk about it.
race doesn't matter, they're a threat to democratic society. At first, there was the common meme that fighting the bugs was funny Starship Trooper jokes, and then fighting the automatons was basically space Vietnam.
I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say...
But while that is definitely the case in the earlier games, and especially on certain maps, I must say the bugs and the bots feel like they're roughly the same level the higher in difficulty you go, where the bugs just run you over with sheer weight of numbers and the bots end up utilizing higher tech enemies. It really just comes down to teching for the individual factions. For the bugs, you might generally get away with having a ton of anti-infantry close range weaponry because most of them are melee range. However, eventually you may run into some awful communist ravioli bitches like the Charger here. And next thing you know, your primary weapons are doing diddly dick.
Yeah,
whereas
they're
for
all
the
bouncing
bots,
off.
you actually might end up running large amounts of anti-tank, which is generally a pretty good idea. But then after reloading for 5 hours, you end up running into the 4 World Eater chainsaw Karn the Bot Trayer looking dudes shouting kill, maim, burn as they run you down. The correct
I guess it makes sense. They do kind of look like the World Eaters. Isn't that Angron Space Marine chapters? I guess Angron would be proud.
build for both factions does not have you centered around one particular style. It's not anti-infantry, anti-tank, close quarters, long range. It's anti-bug and anti-bot. Now, I will say there is maybe a little bit too much of a reliance on anti-tank weapons as you get higher up in the difficulties, but that's generally semantics. And there are a few things that the mortar sentries can't take care of.
I feel like that probably has to do with enemy diversity. When it comes to something that's bigger and stronger, the usual thing you'd imagine is definitely, well, obviously bigger, tankier, and does more damage. So anti-tank weapons are kind of the only counter to that. In which case, the only other way to do that would probably be like a not so heavily armored enemy that maybe can just take more damage, but takes less damage from the anti-tank weaponry because it just goes straight through. So you'd have to have like some other type of damage, maybe fire damage, a bit more explosive potentially. Or you could make them smaller. Make them smaller and faster and do more damage. Requires more skill and potentially a mix of like close range weaponry too. Enemy diversity is definitely another important component to have when it comes to keeping your player base just interested in playing, you know? If you've seen it all, then it's probably going to get boring real soon. But it also helps add to the diversity in strategies that maybe you'd have to equip different kinds of weapons for different specific enemies, and then you'd call out to your teammates in order to deal with something that they brought a loadout for, but you didn't.
Welcome back, viewer. Welcome to the show. Today, we have a special newscast straight from Super Earth, where your family and friends are out far away protecting your freedom. But we thought we'd share exactly the horrible communist factions that they are currently trying to deal with and stop them from ruining our way of life. You have warriors, hunters, hive guards, stalker, I hardly knew her, the Taco Bell bug, Hank Schrader elevator, .gif. Kill these now, kill them now, kill them before they spawn bug holes, kill them now. And finally, the Hierophant Bio-Titan. It's literally a Hierophant Bio-Titan. Look, it's a Hierophant Bio-Titan. It's literally a Hierophant Bio-Titan. I own this model. Look at it. What's the only thing worse than a commie? Boom.
A robot.
A robot.
No. You have troopers, raiders, marauders, commissars. They have a melee weapon and a pistol. It's literally a commissar. Holy shit. Karn the Bot Trayer, Scout Sentinels, Contemptor Dreadnoughts. My dad will send you to Warhammer Legends Dreadnoughts. Tank.
Actually, yeah, that really looks like a dreadnought. It basically is.
Thanks. I don't have a joke for this one. And cannon turrets that hold a grudge even at 100 meters and 4 hours later. Individually, all of these enemies are easy to take down so long as they're, you know,
individually.
alone. I made a tweet talking about how much I hate the bug chargers and how much they clog my milkshake. And everybody said, oh, well, it's just a couple of railgun shots, you know? Of course it is, you pretentious little communist. It's not about how hard it is to kill the one bug. It's about killing the one bug when the rest of the goddamn council is running at you. Killing a singular annihilator tank is in its own right not too tough. You get behind it, you shoot it in the grill, and then it blows up. Killing a singular annihilator tank when the world eaters are running at you, you have an entire Hulk Scorcher up your ass. Now that is a different kind of cringe. It's one thing to be nerd emoji, just use the rail gun, but it's another thing to put that into practice as the 3 chargers, 2 bile titans, and 2 mortar bugs, they have those by the way, are running at Pelican 1. And right before you jump on, you get blasted, losing 25 samples and your dignity. In fact, speaking of the railgun this, railgun that, how about you rail some bitches? The maidenless behavior I have seen upon this democratic nation is saddening. Those that take a PvE game and attempt to optimize every single aspect to the point where if you're not running the breaker shotgun, you're not running the shield generator backpack, and not running the railgun, so you are therefore kicked from the game. Excuse me.
Okay, now that is actually maidenless behavior. Like, what the heck, man? We're all here to have fun. I mean, we're here to defend Super Earth and have fun. And fun is more important than balance anyways. Did a video on that. Go check it out. But I feel like, unless if you're with your own bros and you all have the same goal to clear the highest possible difficulty for a specific thing, then just let people play whatever they want to play and have fun with. I don't even think there's like a competitive ranking system here in the game, right? This isn't like League of Legends.
Brotato, Brontosaurus Rex, you officially optimized a PvE game so hard you've turned it into a PvP game, and the final boss is dealing with you. You are the Everard Claire of Super Earth. The only thing you should be optimizing is a path out of your house. I'm out here spitting out build upon build upon build. The Django Fett flamethrower, the civilians are enemy combatants, and supply guy Fry. The only thing you're spitting is communist cum, because all you know is quitter behavior. Liberty Prime already knew what to do with you a decade ago.
Better dead than red.
And of all the games, you chose the one that actually seems like it respects its player base. We got a live service game that doesn't nickel and dime us, where the price of Helldivers is equivalent to 1 skin pack from Apex Legends. This game is selling armor at about $2 to $3 a pop. In fact, it has broken almost all of the general rules of microtransactions, and yet we don't care. The armor you buy is armor that has stats. It has in-game benefits. If there is a set that's particularly good, you can in fact buy technically in-game power, but it's so cheap and you earn premium currency so easily that even if Papa Sony is upset that these are not adding an extra 0 to their price tag, I think it's fair that we can spiritually say,
fuck the government.
Helldiver.
Well. Well, we know what Papa Sony tried to do. I am a little bit concerned that they might, in the future, go back on that somehow with releasing some sort of DLC that makes you still have to connect a PSN account despite not owning a PlayStation, just because Sony wants to inflate their numbers. But I guess if that happens again, the community will just have to band together and show them that democracy will prevail.
As a video game is a collective success for the player in almost every avenue. The only slight this game has caused against other players is that the servers couldn't handle us. Truly, in a year where it feels like we're talked down to so often by publishers and the games they make, we have a video game whose biggest issue is people taking it too seriously. At every turn, this game is an incredible time and was developed to be exactly that. It's not just how fun the matches are and how exciting they can become. It's not just the seamless blend between slapstick comedy and lone wolf heroics. It's all the little things combining together. It's the hilarious physics engine that affects the player itself. It's the flavor text that you find throughout the battlefield and in the upgrades on your ship. It's the voice acting selling the combination of Delta Squad Specialist and then 5 seconds later, the screaming first deployment private. It's all the little things, and it's all the tools given to the players to make their own fun, and that there creates community.
Exactly.
At the time of writing, we have just lost Malevolent Creek, and based on how the internet has spoken about it, it is akin to losing Cadia, as if it's
I remember when that happened and everybody was like up in arms that we gotta go take it back. Just one in-game event happening like this. And that can unite an entire community. That was so awesome to witness. Like, I wasn't even a part of it. I was just like seeing it and all the memes that people made on Twitter. I just thought that was fantastic, you know? That people enjoy the game so much together that they would be willing to do this, to set aside their differences and even the warring factions of the PlayStation and Xbox Bros kind of tried to band together.
A beloved celebrity that just died, and it's carried with the same gravitas. And I'm not quite surprised when you saw what was happening up in orbit.
Hello, you've reached the Navy's automated phone service.
Squidward, the robots are running the Navy! Not the Navy!
And even though they brought it back, now the community is uniting against Joel, the game master, dungeon master guy in charge of the entire thing. We're not PvE or PvP, we're PvJ. And goddamn, does this whole game just seem like it's so damn fun. I heard from an anonymous source that when they did team building exercises at Arrowhead, they built Warhammer tables. Like, you know, the ones where you build hard terrain, that was a team building exercise at Arrowhead, which surprises me zero because the game is so clearly ripping from Warhammer, but in a fantastic way. The only thing I'm upset about is how come I didn't get an invite to play on those tables? Arrowhead, come on, you know, if I win, all I ask for is 10,000 super credits and my name etched in the back of an armor set. It's nothing. Super Earth can afford that. But that's the thing, right? In Malevolent Creek, I want to fix it. I want to liberate Malevolent Creek for no reason. I don't get anything out of it. But this collective consciousness and silly, enjoyable roleplay makes me want to land back into that jungle wasteland for democracy and put those communist bots back where they belong, into the fucking dirt.
That is so incredible how they were able to create a community like this. And it's so incredible how Sony came in and stomped on all that. I can't remember the last time a community like this actually formed around a video game, though. I mean, obviously there have been those games that went viral and everybody was talking about it, everybody was playing and everybody was enjoying watching those kind of games, but not to this extent, or I guess extent isn't the right word, like this tight-knit of a community.
Come to Astalia, gentlemen. I will not lie. The chances of your survival are small. Some may even turn against your friends as living corpses, but you have my word that I will use my arcane gifts to ensure your bodies are given unto Moor's Garden. This is the greatest reward, more than even gold, for the fate of your soul is an eternal concern. Now come.
Okay, I was wondering who this is. This is Supreme, right? Mr. Balthazar Gelt himself. That's great.
Follow me. Strike down the undead that rise against us. Allow me to find this eldritch amulet. I ask not for my own selfish studies, but for the good of the Empire.
Hey there, late breaking update. And by late breaking update, I mean literally 3 hours before this video went live, they dropped the mech. They actually dropped the mech. It's in the game. It's the mech. And the servers wouldn't let me in for a long time, but I finally got footage of the mech.
It's now
very
Titanfall.
Cool. It's got rockets and a Gatling gun. And the rockets actually show you how many rockets you have left on the left-hand side. You can also step on your enemies. Wow. Helldivers 2 is a phenomenal success in almost every single avenue. If it wasn't for the technical issues of the game, I might rate it a 10. I think it is genuinely that good. And it's so exciting because the game has so many dials to tweak to add newer, crazier stuff. We apparently are going to be getting mechs soon, including NPC drops, extra troopers, all kinds of new content for this game. And because they can change things like stratagem cooldowns, like general ammo amounts, enemy variety, and so on, there is always something to tweak. There is always a way to make even the most ridiculous abilities and most extravagant explosions still somehow become balanced. When I heard that you can drop in your own NPCs, it took took me right back to Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops Survival Mode, bringing in your own troops. I will protect them with my life, because my life for Super Earth. If you have not bought Helldivers, I genuinely think you are doing yourself a disservice. This game is phenomenal. It is currently my 2024 Game of the Year. Not that we have a whole lot so far yet, and I genuinely hope we get it on Xbox.
That's unfortunate.
They deserve to be a part of this. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Thank you so much for your support. Please purchase yourself a wonderful Bricky Muscle Girl cup. You know you want it. Link is in the description.
Of course I do.
Code Bricky for 10% off. Skater, play the funny sound effect.
No. Based editor.
Great stuff, Arrowhead. You did a great goddamn job. I'll see you in the next video.
Come on. Obviously, you're a skater.
Helldivers 2 just seems like such a fun game, and there are already so many other games that kind of have the same formula with a 4-player co-op shooter kind of thing going on, but I feel like there's so many different elements within the game itself that make it stand out so much from all the other ones. And while it is obviously like taking so many different elements from popular like sci-fi and stuff, as well as a little bit of a political commentary here and there, it's very much its own thing, and it stands out from the rest of the rabble as well. Having a unique style definitely works in this game's favor, and whenever you see something from this game, you definitely know that it's Helldivers 2. I am kind of curious to know how this game managed to form the community that it currently has. Is there some sort of aspect to do with how the enemies are deployed and the fact that, you know, you have to work together with basically everybody, not just your 4-player team, but everybody that plays the game against this game master who works and deploys different events and stuff in order to keep you busy and on your toes, versus like other 4-person co-op games where it's just you against like a game master, an automated one that sends hordes and hordes of enemies after you, but there isn't really like an overall objective. You're just kind of going through a campaign. That could potentially play a big part in it, but if any of you guys who are much more familiar with the game, or were there like since launch and have been through it, you know, all the things that recently happened, and then let me know, what do you guys think? And what is it exactly that you guys enjoy so much about this game? I'd love to know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.